Kanye West, who lost fortune after anti-Semitic tirade, says he likes Jewish people again. That's kind of good news for
I
him.
think he deleted that already, didn't he?
This is
it was an Instagram post.
Yeah, it was an Instagram post.
I think he changed his mind already.
Nick Fuentes was paid apparently $30,000 by Kanye West's presidential campaign, and that's a story that just came in when? Is this?
That's recent.
That's yesterday, The Hill. So let me read this story to you and see what your thoughts are on this. So Nick Fuentes was paid $30K by Kanye West's presidential campaign. Federal Election Commission filings revealed that 2020 presidential campaign of rapper Kanye West was paid far-right activist and white supremacist Nick Fuentes over $30,000 for archival services and a travel reimbursement. According to data from Federal Election Commission, he launched a long-shot run for president in 2020 alongside former President Donald Trump, despite openly being a Trump supporter, and earned about 60,000 votes on Election Day. Fuentes has been labeled a white supremacist by the Justice Department and is known for his racist anti-Semitic rhetoric. Kanye has also come under fire for anti-Semitic comments. What are your thoughts on the story?
I knew that Fuentes was working for him. I think we all kind of saw that break a few months ago. Fuentes is an absolute monster. Like, truly, I think I've seen a few of his clips explaining in terms of like cookies in an oven how 6 million Jews could not have possibly perished in the Holocaust. That's just the beginnings of the things that he says. So he's absolutely just despicable. I don't want to know how he got to Kanye. I don't know what happened to Kanye. I was a giant fan of Kanye's growing up, and up until recently, listened to his music all the time. I loved skating to it and working out to it. And he was kind of like the underdog inspiration in his own way as well. Like, I've loved Kanye forever. So very disappointing. I launched a Holocaust education project in honor of this whole situation called, you can find it at educatekanye.com. But yeah, it was really disappointing. I think he's going through something because normal people do not only want to associate with Fuentes, but want to hire him to make him president. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think if something's off or sick, then we should just let him get help. But
do you think Kanye can do anything to, because apparently this whole story about him watching Jonah Hill, whatever the
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street, and kind of changed my mind, like Jewish people again, all this stuff. And this was a story about a month ago or 3 weeks ago. Do you think, he can do anything to get back to who he was before, or is this a permanent career, done decision that's going to ruin him for years and years to come?
No, I think he can come back.
He can come back.
America loves an underdog, but I think people love when people grow up, apologize, take responsibility, and move on. And I think this is a very easy thing to apologize for. There's no reason he can't say, hey, really was going through something, had no idea the garbage that was coming out of these people's mouths. I apologize, and I'll visit a Holocaust museum. I'll focus on writing music and making amends and take it from there, one day at a time.
Is it kind of like if he wrote a song instead of Jesus walked, he says Jesus never walked?
Okay. I might do it.
He says Jesus was a Jew. And then he gets maybe that's remix. Like the next remix he does to see what happens. So there is a possibility that in the future you could figure skate and listen to his music again.
Yeah. I mean,
possibly. That's a tough one. You don't sound committed to it.
He's known for his music. He's not known for politician Kanye West. So I will always admire his music.
All right. Okay. Adam, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, of course.
Nick Fuentes.
Nick Fuentes specifically. Well, I just covered a story that he did with my friend Pearl. Pearly Davis, Pearly Things, massive YouTuber in the Manosphere Red Pill space. And she invited him on the show. And listen, when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And you sit down with a guy like Nick Fuentes, who is 24, and now he's the expert on the Holocaust.
Right.
Okay? By the way, it's interesting that Kanye is able to thread the needle of, because white supremacist, anti-Semite, so it's like Kanye will, he'll tune out the anti-Semitic stuff. Tune out the anti-black stuff, but just kind of focus on the anti-Semitic stuff. It's like, I know you hate blacks and Jews and dogs, but I'm just going to focus on the Jewish part with you there, Nick. So Nick, I think, actually reached out. What was the situation, Rob? So I basically responded to Pearl, and I was basically like, look, Pearl, stay in your lane. If you want to be in the dating red pill space, why get into debates over the merits of slavery or the accuracy of slavery and the Holocaust? It's like, what's the benefit for your specific career? Do you know who this girl is, Pearl Davis?
I don't, no.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen her online if you take a picture. But I basically was like, your reputation is who you are, even if it's not who you are.
Right.
So Nick, you ever seen this girl?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, okay, gotcha. So even, and I think Nick said, "Hey, I'm not a white supremacist." What was the response?
Well, Nick's camp reached out and they wanted to see if you'd be interested in sitting down with him. The quote was, "He's being smeared as a white supremacist by Adam, but I am one of many examples of proof to the contrary, as I am a black man." And this was his middleman, his representation.
And what is Fuentes? That's a Latin last name, right? He's Latino.
Possibly,
Fuentes,
yes.
And he's
Yes.
just saying outlandish shit.
Yeah, well, it's not like I put the word white supremacist out there. You Wikipedia the guy.
Wikipedia
you Google
saying
the
he's a
guy.
white
It's the
supremacist.
first thing, the American white supremacist political commentator.
Yeah, I don't.
So
get,
all I'm
by
doing
the
is
way,
reading.
I'm not defending the guy at all whatsoever. But be careful when you're, saying just because Wikipedia says something about somebody that's who they are. That's not how I judge it. What has happened is, if these stories are surrounding you, there's a reason for it. Some of it is probably because you're trying to get eyeballs. And I saw him, I think, in one clip. If this is the same guy that he was following Ben Shapiro while he's crossing the street with his kids, I think is it the same guy?
I think so, yeah.
Listen, if you're doing that to get the eyeballs, great. You worked. I mean, it's working for you. People are talking about you. But there's certain things, I don't know if you want certain things to be your identity out there. So maybe you can come on a podcast, you guys can talk to each other about it.
Look, maybe I'll bring him down to the Holocaust Museum in Miami Beach, and we'll sit down and have a cup of coffee right there. Or we can go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., and let's see if that's something that he'd be open to. Maybe you'd like to join us.
Sure.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.